I'm actually in the MMOC Club van. There'll be some videos and podcasts coming about that soon. But we're on our way to do another visit to Peggy. Today is Saturday the 18th of May, so it's been a couple of weeks since we went to go and visit her. But today is a big visit. We are going to go and see her, hopefully, a pretty bare shell and all of the welding done and complete. So this will be quite an interesting update for me to see her completely like this, to see all of the metal that's gone in, and to kind of see the build up from this point of turning her back into Peggy. It'll also be the first time that I've seen her without so much falgal glue, which I think will be a really interesting thing for me to see, and see if it kind of still feels like Peggy. And yeah, I'm really excited. It was quite a good call with Ian when he rang me and told me about what was going on, and that it would be worth coming and visiting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's all coming together. In the time since the last visit, I have been working hard on some of the little bits of homework that I've got, and I've been doing a few edits and things to the paintwork on a few of the little bits and pieces he sent me home with, and I've also stripped the bars out of the headlining and given them a bit of rust conversion before I put some primer on those. So still some bits and bobs for me to do on my end, but things are really coming along. So let's see what Peggy looks like when we get there.
So seeing Peggy like this is something that I was really looking forward to when we went into this restoration process, to see all of the metal in her without paint and kind of it be the start of her being rebuilt was something that I was really looking forward to, it being quite a landmark point in this restoration process. You can see here on the passenger side loads of new metal has been put in, and we've also got a new floor fitted as well, and a new leaf spring hanger as well. So that is all solid. Where the inner wings had gone and come away from the body, that's all been reattached, and she is finally back together. And so much work has gone into this without kind of your removing of interior, removing of windows, removing of the engine, just welding alone. There is 87 hours worth of welding that has gone into Peggy at this point, which is crazy, but obviously so worth it. And it's going to be fantastic to see her built up from there, and having all of this work done and bringing her down to bare metal has revealed so many little secrets of her past. I've got this huge great folder of work that's been done to her, but it isn't necessarily catalogued why that work is being done. And here you can see that Ian is explaining that now she's down to bare metal, we know that at some point on this kind of rear quarter she either reversed into something or something was reversed into her, whatever's happened, but it kind of misshaped the back a little bit, which was all covered up with filler and slightly tapping things out. But Ian's done a much better job of getting things back, and he left it so that I could sort of feel it a little bit, but all of that will be finalised before we start going to building up. But it does explain why these parts where the roof and the body have gone, it is a popular place for them to rust because it collects kind of condensation, but them coming away a little bit when the body's misshapen will also feed into why that's happened. Also slightly misshaped the boot hole, but that has all been corrected now as well, so really exciting to see it all like that. We can also see where layers and layers of paint have been added because of this incident here that we mentioned in a previous video. Those layers and layers of paint on the bottom half make her look a little bit like an everlasting gobstopper, and I'm so grateful that he left so much of that there for me to kind of see when I came and visited, but obviously that will all be removed before the paint work goes on. But you can see where that was all added, but here on the roof she is essentially just her factory paint, a little spray over to perhaps tie in the colour with the bottom half of the car, but it's amazing how well roof paint holds up compared to your more lower body parts. You can see here that my dad and my sister were fascinated to see her like this as well, so they actually came along today to have a viewing of Peggy like this as well. But yeah, so much work gone in here, new boot floor as well, and it all kind of coming together. So the project now is obviously build her back up and start making her look like the shiny new Peggy that she will be. But it has been really cool to see her like this, and she's all ready for her final part of her transformation. So I best get on with some of my homework. So it's homework time, and I've got a few little bits of metal that will end up going back on Peggy that I was cleaning up. So some of this is like chrome work that I was getting some rust off of. Some of this is the little bits of metal that hold Peggy's seats in, and that is the bit that holds spare tyre in. So I started off initially by wire brushing it all, and then rust convertering it all. Some of the chrome work I didn't do the rust converter to, I just got the wire metal to, but the overriders did get the rust converter on the inside, because that will be painted black, as you'll see in the kind of the next segment. The reason I'm doing this is it's just what Ian recommended. It's not seen by people, and it will kind of stop the rust forming in those bits and stopping the rust coming through to the chrome side. These are original bits of chrome, so they're much higher quality chrome than the new stuff, and it holds up a lot better if it's kind of protected in the bits where the moisture gathers. But these all got painted and treated, and they're all going to kind of hopefully hold up beautifully with the rest of the restoration. But these were just little bits that I could do to save a bit of money on his labour. I also gave the chrome the Coke and tinfoil trick to shine it all up a little bit. It had fantastic results, and if you do have chrome that you need a bit of work on, this does seem to make a big difference, and I did get a bit addicted to it and gave everything this treatment. I don't know how long it will last, but it didn't seem that onerous, and it kind of held up quite well to the shine test, and so it can be done again, I guess. Another little job I had was removing the bars from the headlining, labelling them up as 1, 2 and 3, and I used cable ties to do that so that he knows where they go back in the new headlining that is being replaced. And also removing the rust from them, so wire brush again, rust converter again, and then I add a coat of rust proof primer just to make them as smooth as possible, so that it makes his job putting them back in the headlining and the headlining back in as easy as possible. And that is all of my homework done. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this Peggy update, and there'll be definitely more to come, as well as episodes of the podcast back.